Good morning, second graders. Today is Friday, May 8th, and I'm going to call today Fantastic Friday because we get to do a Scholastic News today for our reading must-dos. So if you look at your matrix, on Friday, May 8th, it says, read the Scholastic News magazine, This Plant Stinks. Complete the activity pages to go with the magazine. Now remember, in your distance learning folder, we put all of your Scholastic Newses in order. So you're going to need to find the one today that's called This Plant Stinks, and it looks like this. Okay, so that's what we're going to be working on today. I love reading Scholastic News because I think they are super interesting. And guess what? I always learn something new. Every time we do a Scholastic News, even I learn something new. So I know you will learn something new too. It's a great way to practice reading nonfiction. How many of you knew that there was a difference between the skills of reading a nonfiction text versus a fiction text? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. When you read a fiction text, you can usually read at a little bit faster pace. Not super fast, but just at a pace where you are just reading for enjoyment. That's what a fiction text is. So you just get to read it to enjoy it. But a nonfiction text, usually we have to slow our reading pace down. And that's so that we can get any information from the text or any facts that we need to know. And that helps our brain absorb that information when we slow our reading pace down. So that's what we're going to do today when we read a nonfiction Scholastic News. And that way we learn as we're reading. So when you read a nonfiction text, it's always really important to preview that text and to look at the text features. And that's what we've been talking a lot about this year, our nonfiction text features. In our book, Thinking About Ants, that we read earlier this week, we had cutaways, and we had photos, and we had labels. In our Scholastic News today, we're going to talk about several text features that will help you to understand what you're reading. And that's what those text features help you to do. They help you to be a better reader and to understand what you're reading. So today we're going to look at the title, and this is the cover of the magazine. So the title says, This Plant Stinks, in big yellow letters. Okay, that's how you know it's the title. So that's one of the text features of nonfiction texts, is a title. And then on the Scholastic News, it also has a little blurb here, which you should read. Just like we do in fiction stories, when we talk about the cover, we read the blurb on the back. In Scholastic News, their blurb is on the cover of their magazines. So we'll have to read that first before we begin, okay? And then when you open it up, there's other text features in here. This is called the heading or the headline, okay? And that's in green letters, and it's called World's Grossest Plants. You're gonna really like this magazine today, it's funny. So that's the heading or the headline. And then that tells you what the article, the whole entire article is going to be about. And then other text features are these red words right here. And those are called subheadings. And we talked a little bit about that last time we did a Scholastic News too. And those subheadings help you to understand what that paragraph is going to be about. So when you start right here, stinky plant. This whole thing right here is going to be about a stinky plant. And then you're going to get to this one, and it says slimy plant. So that paragraph from here all the way over here is going to be about slimy plants. And those subheadings help break down the information so that you can easily organize your thoughts and what you're learning. Okay, and then it gets to this one, toilet plant. That one seems like that's going to be pretty funny, doesn't it? So that's there all the way to the end. Okay, so that breaks it up. Now, some other text features in this Scholastic News magazine are picture captions. We've talked about what those are too. Those are the words that describe the picture. So when you're looking at your Scholastic News magazine, read the picture captions, and it tells you what you're seeing in the picture. Okay, and there's a really funny one right there about an animal pooping in a plant. So you're gonna like that one. And then the other nonfiction text features in here are boldface words. You can see these dark black words. You know that those are important words in the article, and we call those our vocabulary words. So we have pollen, We have nutrients, we have mucus, and we have nectar. And if you do this magazine online, they always have the vocabulary word part that you can learn what those words mean before you start reading. And that's what we always used to do at school, didn't we? We'd do our vocabulary words first. So all of those things that we've just talked about are nonfiction text features in your magazine that help you understand. When you're done reading, you're going to do the back, and on the back there's another nonfiction text feature called a glossary. And a glossary explains what words mean that you are reading about. Okay, so look at this. Here is all your vocabulary words that were in boldface while you read your story. Okay, and a glossary explains what each one of those words mean. So when you do the bottom, you're going to have to go back up into the glossary and figure out which answer is the best choice for that meaning. Okay, so that should be fun. Now, I'm going to remind you how to log in if you want to log in online, to do it online. Okay, remember I made you last time this little sheet to tell you how to do it. So first, you're going to Google search Scholastic News 2. Then you're going to click on Login. Then I am a student. And I'll give your parents the password. I'll send it on Remind again, okay? And that way that you can log in if you would like to do it online. So pause this if you need help as you log in, okay? And I'm going to show you on my iPad so that you know exactly what to do. Okay, so right here, all right, I put in Scholastic News 2. That was my Google search, okay? So I'm going to click on right here where it says Scholastic News. Okay, I'm going to click that. And then it's going to load in there. And then you're going to see this screen. You probably remember this from school. Okay, and in the corner it says Log In right there. So I'm going to click Log In. Then there's where it says I am a teacher or I am a student. It's kind of hard to see. So I'm going to click I am a student because I'm pretending that I'm you. And then you're going to see a welcome. Okay. And then you need the classroom password. Okay. And that's what I'm going to send you on Remind. I'm not going to put that on YouTube because then other people could get in our stuff and we don't want that. Okay. So that's what I'm going to send your parents. So you're going to put that password in and then it will come up with what we see on the smartboard at school. Okay? Remember, you don't have to log in and do it online if you don't want to. You can read it yourself, or you can have a parent read it to you, or an older brother or sister if you'd like. But if you would like to log on, that's how you do it. Okay? So I hope you enjoy it. It's a really funny Scholastic News one this week, and it's full of information. All right? So now we are going to be ready for math. Oh, and before we start math, there's also a seesaw activity that I created. So make sure when you are done doing the sheet, I better talk about the sheet before we move on to math. This is the sheet that goes with it. It's tucked right inside your Scholastic News, okay? So it says, this plant stinks, so go ahead and answer the questions, fill in the bubble like we did at school. And then this side is word work. So you're gonna do both sides, and then you're gonna go on Seesaw if you can, and you are going to take a picture of your work and upload it to Seesaw so that I can see your answers, okay? All right, have fun with that. Now we are ready for math, and on our matrix for math, it tells us to do my review, complete page 181 and 182 in your math packet. So today is the final day that we are going to be working with data analysis, and starting next week, we're going to start a new chapter on telling time. Don't work ahead on your pages. We'll do it together on our video just like we have been. Okay, so I'm going to turn the video camera around and we're going to correct our math from yesterday and get our math for today looked at so that you can get that done and have a great weekend. So grab your math packet and a pencil and your page from yesterday, and I'll see you in a couple seconds. All right, second grade. Now, guess what? Before we actually start correcting, what I did when I flipped the camera around is I went and I got the password for our Scholastic News because I didn't have that with me on the videotape in the first place. So that's why I couldn't finish showing you. So I went and put the password in, which remember I'm going to send to your parents on Remind. So once I put that in where it said class password, this is what it looks like when it comes up, okay? And so you're going to see the May and the June, But this article that we have today, This Plant Stinks, is actually from April. So you're going to have to scroll if you have a tablet. And on the computer, you're going to have to figure out where April is. And then here it is right here, This Plant Stinks. So you click on it. And maybe not, because now I've been like logged in for a while. Oh, here we go. And there it is. So then you can go ahead, just like before where it says listen and read. So you click there. Here's the video on the dance break. Here's the video on what do plants need. Here's your slideshow with your vocabulary words. And here's your game. So those of you who didn't do it online last time that want to do it this time, that's what it looks like. So remember, if you click listen and read, you're going to click on level. And then when it comes up, after it loads, then you have to one more step, and that's this one right here, this yellow read aloud. And once you read it aloud like that, it'll go ahead and do that. And then when it's done with the cover, you'll see the arrow that you'll click on to open it up. Okay? So I just wanted to touch base with you a little bit about that before we corrected math so that you knew exactly how to get on the Scholastic News. All right, so here is our math for today. You had to turn the tally chart into a picture graph, so this is what it should look like. We're just going to do this pretty fast because this is pretty easy. I bet you all got it right. And then you had to answer the questions. How many students were surveyed? So you could have either counted up the tally marks or counted up your pictures. How many students like hockey or football? Remember I said you had to add those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 was your answer. And at the bottom, your bar graph should have looked like this. The yeses were 10. And the no's were 1. And then how many students have been to the zoo? 10, because those were the yeses. And then how many more students have been to the zoo than have not been to the zoo? And that was 9, because when it's how many more, you should go ding, 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 subtract. So 10 minus 1 equals 9. And you could have also looked at your bar graph and counted up how many more had been there, because these two are equal, and then you could have counted all these extra, which is 9 too. Okay? Good job. All right, today your assignment is to do the final My Review page. So page 581 and 582. Okay, and the 582 is the reflect on the back. So for math today, it says number 13. Taylor asked 12 friends to name their favorite number. 5 friends said 4, 6 friends said 1, 1 friend said 2. Use Taylor's data to complete the line plot. So there's the title, and there's the line plot. Okay, now when you do this, 5 friends said 4. So the one that's in words, that's how many X's you are going to put. So the number part matches the numbers on the line plot. The word numbers are how many X's go above it. Okay, so you're going to do 6 said 1, 5 said 4, 1 friend said 2. Okay, so the circled ones are the numbers under here on the line plot. The word numbers are how many X's you're going to put. Okay, number 14, a tricycle has 3 wheels. A bike has 2 wheels. How many wheels are there on 4 tricycles and 3 bikes? Now this is a story problem that you're going to probably want to draw a picture. That will help you solve it best. So I'll try to help you a little bit on this, but I'm not going to tell you the answer because I want you to figure it out. So we all know that a tricycle has 3 wheels, right? So how many wheels are there on 4 tricycles? So you can draw a little picture. So here's 3 wheels for 1 trike, and here's 3 wheels for a second trike. And you can even, you know what, if you want to do it in circles, we can do it like this too. There's some wheels on a trike. There's some wheels on a trike. The 3rd trike and the 4th trike. Okay, now all you got to do is count those up. And then the same thing for the bikes. If each bike has 2 wheels, here's a bike, here's a bike, and here's a bike. Okay, and all you have to do is count up your wheels and write your answer in the blank. And the test practice, there are 4 giraffes at the zoo. Each giraffe has 4 legs. How many legs are there in all? So once again, draw a picture. Draw a picture with 4 giraffes with 4 legs, just like I drew a picture up here. And that put your answer, oh, no, color your answer in right down here. All right, on the back, you reflect, you have 4 problems. So the first one, you're gonna complete the tally chart. So write the total of the tallies. This one, you're gonna use that same tally chart to make a picture graph. So you're still using the fruit, the banana, the apple, the orange, just like on your tally chart. So each picture equals 1 vote, so go ahead and use circles. And then the bottom, use the tally chart to make the bar graph. So same thing, you're gonna use that same information from this tally chart and turn it into a bar graph. Remember how we put a dot in each square to represent a tally mark, and then we go back and color it in. Nice and neat. And the last one, analyze the data. How many people like apples or bananas? So you're gonna have to count up how many liked apples and bananas, okay? And your essential question was, how can I record and analyze data? And that's the question that we've been asking every time we have a new math lesson. So we know that there's tally charts, and there's picture graphs, and there's bar graphs, and the one thing that they didn't really have on here is a line plot, but we learned that as well. That is another way to record and analyze data. All right, so once you finish your math today, you can enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will be back with you again on Monday. Bye, 2nd grade.